Go live. There are. Haven't seen me from this camera angle in a while, have ya? Well, I'm back. Alright, give me a second while I just grab myself my Sprite, my reference. Alrighty. So, welcome to a new type of stream that I haven't done before. The general idea of this is to, take these super off-model Pokemon Green sprites and try to work them into something that's a lot more modern looking, but still just as off-model. So, like, baseline rules, can't change the silhouette of the sprite, can't change, like, the position, like, these feet have to stay at this angle. Like, I'm going to be making an oddish sprite. And for reference here, I'm going to pull up. So this is the Gen 3 oddish sprite. You can see it's in a very similar pose, almost the same size, actually a little smaller. But I can't make the feet look the way they do in this. They have to look like this one's. And they have to use the color palette of this one. So it should be an interesting and fun experience, I hope. Yeah. So hopefully my music's not too loud. Now I'm just gonna dive into this. So this is kind of my body outline color that I'm gonna start with. So obviously we can tell this is 1 foot. This is another foot that is merged with the body. And there's going to be a little bit of like kind of having to interpret what's going on with the sprite with these. Like obviously we've gotten to the base of the leaves. It's kind of hard to tell what happens there. So what I'm going to generally do is I'm just going to kind of cap the head like that. And then we'll sort of recolor it as we go. So I know each of these is a different color. I'm going to just start with using one color. Let's take the body. He sure is an oddish. Alright. And then I'm going to grab kind of a leaf outline color, just this. And I'm going to start just applying that. Also, I'm going to add just a background layer because I imagine staring at this grid gets a little tiring. So let's just get like a nice ugly shade of pink. Not the prettiest shade of salmon, but that gives us kind of some more ease. Oops. As we work through this. So obviously this is just a rough outline. I haven't done any anti-aliasing yet, but just kind of blocking out the details here. One of the tricky things that I'm going to be experiencing here is these sprites have some weird anti-aliasing. because they were designed to display on a perfectly white background, whereas modern sprites weren't. So they do a few things a bit differently. As a result of that, I guess. You know what I should do? I should lower my mouse sensitivity. That would help. But yeah, since these were designed for a white background, you'll notice that there's like some spots where there's just like a color, like a random colored pixel hanging outside of the outline. Like there and there. But I now have a rough blocked out version of it. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on here. Like, is this another leaf? Because, like, obviously we know not like that Oddish nowadays has like 5 leaves, and there's like 5 main leaves here. But is this here a part of this leaf, or is this like a sort of background leaf that's not existent here? You know, if I turn this off, you can see there's something there. I think I'm going to interpret that as kind of as an extra leaf. And I think it's going to kind of be how I interpret these other pixels as well. So I'm just going to steal, just so that I can keep an eye on where those are. Now, honestly, this might be a bit of shading that I grabbed, so I'm just gonna take that and merge it into there. Hard edge that. So now I'm a lot closer to where this needs to be. I'm gonna take this color here, slap it around on these leaves. So this is kind of what we're working from now. So we can start to add more bits of detail. He's kind of hideous. But don't worry about it, because this is the phase when every sprite looks hideous, so it will improve. One thing that I've noticed is different about this sprite versus more modern ones is it doesn't have any of those like lines that kind of run down the middle of the leaf, you know? Little leaf veins and stuff. That's not really here at all. So I'm not gonna focus on that with what I do here. I'm gonna take some sort of shading inspiration from the Gen 3 like modern version of this, so that I'm not doing something that feels too out there, I guess. I'm gonna put this mostly into shade. So, yeah, I guess they do kind of do this. This is something I was going to do, and I was like, oh, does that feel weird? No. It's something they do. So, try to toss like a couple of those little shadow pixels in. Doesn't make sense to add them too much to these leaves though. Here, I think I should do it kind of like that. That's what I'm gonna go for. Now, I don't want to take it too much higher than the other ones, so I'm gonna, honestly, I'm just gonna bump the other ones up a bit. What a beautiful sprite this is. Alright, let's get some detail in here. So I do that. There is a bit of dithering on the Gen 3 one. I just don't want to overdo it, but I do think I want to use it here. It's like, it's really tricky because dithering on small surfaces doesn't work super well. So I'm trying to be careful with how I use it, because like I don't think it works here nearly as well as it does here. So I think I want to keep that. And here I'm just gonna do something a little more like that. God, this is such an awkward sprite to like get good shading in on the leaf here. But I think that's about what I can do for now before I start doing like actual like additions of like detail and stuff like that. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move my focus to the head here. Excuse me, can I take this color? Thank you. So obviously, its face is pretty round. Let's kind of try to emphasize that here. So on the more modern sprite, they do kind of cordon this foot off a little bit. I don't want to do that because I don't want to disturb that line art that they had in the original. So what I'm going to kind of do is I'm going to make the foot a little more forward than it is in the Gen 3 sprite. But this one here is going to kind of have some similar types of shading going on, where it's for the most part pretty dark, but there is sort of this little light patch here. It's a little bit larger, so I think I'm honestly going to kind of enlarge that patch a bit. This type of detail is a little bit more Gen 4. No, we're not giving Oddish toes today. Dear God, no. Oh my God. Beautiful suggestion, though. Thank you for that, Suri. That's the bit of chaos the stream was missing. Oddish with toes. So I think what I'm gonna kind of do is, you know, using a bit of this kind of darker, like more, it's not quite a black, but like it's close to black, to kind of bring in a little more of a sense of depth on these leaves. Like what's in front of what, what's behind what. I think this one's kind of fine to stay as it is. Over here, just a little bit of it, not a lot. Okay. Let's bring in some anti-aliasing now. I want to try to use the anti-aliasing to bring in a little more of a sense of like lighting, I guess, but also a little more just like detail to these like leaf ends here. Okay. I think with this type of leaf structure, it feels like I need a little more in the way of like anti-aliasing to just make the shading feel more natural, because the lighting doesn't get to bring much in, and it gives a little more texture to the leaves. So I think that's what I'm gonna kind of do here. Okay. So it looks like there's a little bit of face anti-aliasing here. So I think I do want to get a tiny bit of that in. Honestly, I want to focus on like a little bit on the foot. See, this is the one thing, this little point here, that disturbs my brain. But I guess, like, at scale, it doesn't look too bad. Not much I can do to, like, change how that reads, though, you know? 'Cause it's like, what am I gonna do, soften it like that? That doesn't make sense. Though maybe if I did it like this. because it is a little bit of a lighter pixel there. But does that soften it much? Not a lot. But I think so far that's pretty good. I think the last thing I want to do is kind of cap these. But I guess I don't want to do it to all of them. I think I like this like little peek back, you know? I think it's kind of fun. I think that just with the way this is sort of set up, I want to add just like a tiny bit. Of lighter color here. Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's pretty much done, you know? It's not-ish. Not a lot I can do. It's pretty basic design overall. So obviously, you know, the mouth is just a single pixel there. I think I'm gonna kind of, do I allude to there being more? I think I like the idea of alluding slightly to a little bit more by adding just that. That 1 pixel. Just adds like a little bit more of a sense of, yeah, there's more to that. And it makes it kind of feel like he's going a little more like, ooh. Okay. You know what? I can live with this. I can live with this, I think. I'm going to go for a couple of details that I wouldn't... like that you don't see in Gen 3 ones quite so much. Just adding like a little bit of... stronger highlighting, I guess. Yeah, I think I like that specifically for those leaves, where they kind of hang down. It's not too bad. I guess there is a little bit of black, you know, anti-aliasing down here in the original. So I am going to add, I guess, a little bit of that before I call this one done. But Almost looks like an eyebrow. He's got like the little, like the rock eyebrow going on. Oh man, wait. Yes. Yeah, Finn's going crazy. Alright, I think... I don't want him to get an eyebrow effect going from adding too much detail there, so I'm gonna just kind of... try to keep that a little toned down. I think that's pretty good. That gives me the oddish vibe I'm looking for. I think I'll call it. So, gonna delete this layer. Gonna delete this layer. Though maybe honestly, what if I do that? Kind of like I did here. Oh, but what if I add? No, I think that's kind of silly. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so he's so smushed in comparison. All right. So yeah, real quick, I'm gonna index this. Should I use? How do I have an extra color? Oh, apparently I grabbed some of the original sprite black instead. There we go. All right. Fixed that. So now I'm using 10 colors. This was using 10 colors, and they're the same 10. All right. So let's put this in. Oh, he's so weird looking. You're such a weird little dude. Oh, I didn't realize there's no blending modes in this. Alright, what happens if I do this to GIMP? Oh, that's so weird. Multiply's good. Multiply is what I go with for a lot of things. Alright, that's enough of that. So, we've done one. It looks weird. Don't worry about it. So let's grab the next one that I have on the docket. Here we are. Sprite number 2. We're doing Rhyhorn. So let's bring in, so that's the Gen 3 sprite. Rhyhorn is one I'm kind of excited for because one, it's very complex, but also this sprite is larger and a lot softer than what they've used for Gen 3. So I'm really curious how it's going to turn out, you know, trying to sprite this. It's also very complex. There's a lot of lines, a lot of weird points. So let's get on this. God, there's so many shades of gray. Okay, so I guess this makes sense. So I'm gonna also add just a background layer of kind of a, let's go with like a lavender for this one. You know what, I needed something a little, yeah, something that stands out a little bit more from the anti-aliasing. So we're going with purple. Where are we at in this? Okay. 40 minutes or so. Let's see how long this takes. I think one thing this one does is it has a lot of parts that are like in shadow. It's kind of hard to tell what the kind of idea is behind it. Because like this clearly feels like it's not part of the horn. Okay, so the head is done. It's kind of hard to see here. Hello, hello. So that's the head, like, outlined. I think that's kind of what they're going for. Hear me. It's hard to tell because some of these parts are like proportionally different in the more modern spriting. So it's like not always super easy to tell what is and isn't correct about a feature. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna steal the black from the other sprite. I think I'm gonna, whoops. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna give it like a slightly open mouth. Oh, nice. That sounds like a rare one. Here, I think I'm gonna one more dot there. It's the other nostril. Okay. So that's like the head. I'm just gonna take a quick second to just dump some flat shading to it. And let's take a little bit of this. Throw some mouth in there. Yeah. It looks real doofy. Yes, indeed, I do. Look at that. Okay, so we've got the head, which is an important part. The rest of this is a bunch of random spikes. I think I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna try to kind of rough out the foot here. And then I'll kind of come back through and make that less dark. That's a foot. Okay, just block out these toes. Since this is like a section of detail that is going to be heavily in shadow, I'm just starting with this like near true black that they use. Now I think that I go to here. I think that's more of a shading thing. Welcome, welcome. This chunk here is going to be kind of complex, I think. So just going to start on this foot instead. I think this one's going to have a few spots that are going to need like some heavy interpretation. To kind of like work out like, hey, what's going on with this? At least that's the vibe I'm getting here. How awkwardly structured some of these toes are and stuff. Oh, you know what might help? Here, if I do this. That. There we go. That'll make it a little more even with the other one. Oh, nice. That card do be looking nice and holographic. Let me see. Yeah. Is that also a... Yeah, that's also a toe. It's the third toe from that foot. Kind of peeking. Whoops. Actually, because I did that. I don't know why I keep doing it that way. I keep like spriting to the wrong layer. I'm bad at keeping track of my layers when they're all the same colors. Alright, there we go. Now, honestly, I should probably do this like this color or something to make it read a little easier. That's like where I've put stuff down, but I feel like feel like this is fine. It's just difficult to see. Alright, there we go. I think the server's pretty good on them right now, just because there's not a lot of stuff going on. But hypothetically, it could grow someday into something that is a lot less manageable. The like small team of myself and my friends, you know? Kind of like how I feel about like the stream chat right now and stuff, you know, where it's like hypothetically this could be a lot less manageable. I feel like this is kind of the shape it's suggesting. But like until it reaches that point, it's like easy enough. I think that's mostly actually just shading, so I'm gonna not do that just yet. I'm gonna chalk that up to shading. Now what's going on there in this one? So yeah, that's kind of how it looks on the Gen 3 sprite as well. So I think he's so rotund. Like the gen, or specifically so these sprites are from Pokemon Green, which is the Japan exclusive Gen 1 title, which came out with much worse sprites than the upgraded version that was released internationally. So like they're a lot more off model, and this one especially lands in this weird, very soft aesthetic. Which, like, to be fair, this isn't all that different than the one that was in the international copies of the game. But even so, it's still, like, kind of weird to look at compared to what we see now for Rhyhorn. Okay, I think this actually does, this is kind of relevant. I don't think that's just shading. I suppose we could. All right. So what is the darkest shadow color we've got? Okay, that's this color. But it's this color that I've used for the outlines for more of it. So let's grab this darker color before I start tossing that around, I guess. Well, unless there's a... Yeah, this is a shadow color as well. I'm gonna dump this into those sort of empty regions here that are going to be pretty in shadow, you know? Look at that. I could probably, because this is going to be pretty light here at least. And then the toes, let's steal this because I imagine it's the same color it's used for the toes. These claws are like much bigger and softer than the ones in the more modern sprite. So goofy looking. I think one thing I will do here is I'm gonna pay attention to how the eye is structured a bit. Do that. All right. I think one thing I do need to do a little bit of is just kind of adding more black to that so that I can bring in the darker shadows where they're kind of needed in some of these lower elements, I guess. I feel like I at least have like this much light kind of hitting on this little limb here. Ah, hello, Mike. This is a bit of a new thing I've decided I kind of wanted to play with, which is taking the really ridiculous Pokemon Green sprites and then sort of punching them into submission and making them look vaguely like the Gen 3 ones. Honestly, probably. Expand that some. trying to think of how I want to structure this so it doesn't feel like too crazy. Honestly, that feels pretty good to me. So I can add like a little bit of a... Trying to figure out how I want to set up like a bit of a highlight here. I'm gonna do that so that I add like a little bit of texture, because I feel like, honestly, looking at the fire red leaf green sprite, it lacks some of the texture that I would like want to see, you know, from like a big rocky rhinoceros thing. So I'm gonna try to add like a tiny bit of dithering here and there that they don't really do with this, and it's like fire red leaf green sprite, but that's okay. I think honestly the fire red leaf green sprites are very solid though. Like they go very hard. I was gonna say, that certainly feels like a pretty rare card. Kinda wanna break that a little bit. Oh my god, I wasn't even using the whitest white for the eye. Oh. Look at me go. I hardly know what I'm doing with this. I probably grabbed it from like there. Ah, there's a darker color too that's used in the teeth. So I probably grabbed it from the tooth. No! The tooth uses the lighter one too. Interesting. So I broke a line here. Yeah. I'm not super familiar with a lot of the card terminology, so I'm not sure what that means precisely, but like it sounds like a good thing. Yeah, I don't want to go too hard with that. Gotcha. So I'm assuming that higher is better with that scale. Yeah, it certainly does seem pretty high quality condition. Like I don't see any like tears or creases or scuffs on the sides or anything like that. That's interesting. So is it like, is it just a collectible one, or is it like, is it like sort of, is it legal to play basically, is I guess what I'm trying to get at? Or is it just one that kind of is for collection purposes only? Because I know, okay. Because I know sometimes when they do like ones that are like that, they do it like, but they don't make it legal, so it's just a collector's item. I think Magic did that semi-recently, where they had like sort of like a collector's set of like old cards. And then they kind of revealed like, oh, but none of them are legal. So screw you if you wanted to use them. You can look at them, get a good look at them, and call it a day, because that's the most you can do with this card. Oh, that's really nice then. Because like they could have so easily just been like, nope, can't use it, not legal. Sorry. Actually, this is a little bit of the inside here. That looks weird. This lower jaw is very large and goofy looking, but I think it makes sense to kind of give it a little bit of a highlight. At least at that edge. Thank you, thank you. This is a tricky one. I chose this one knowing it would be tricky, but it is proven to be slightly tricky. I think that makes sense. Like the roguelike, I guess it's roguelite? Yeah. Oh, like the one fake one that I did a sprite for? Yeah, I know that one. I remember it. I remember it like it was only yesterday. The originator? Aha! I figured as much. That was a fun one to do. I kind of did that one. I was kind of at work when I did it. And by kind of, I mean it was a slow day at work, and so I was literally using MS Paint for the first significant chunk of it. Complex one. I mean, I can definitely imagine that. I feel like I've designed a few like that. Arguably. I am, as the cool kids say, married. I don't blame you. That's that card could be worth quite a bit given enough time to kind of let a few get damaged, you know, as rare as it is. You keep that Pikachu safe. So they kind of... Let's bring in this like slightly lighter. That sucks. There was I found like a psychic energy card or something like that when I was on a walk one day. Just like torn to shreds, and I was like, I don't know if someone got in trouble and their like parent ripped up a card, or if they got really frustrated and they ripped up a card, but someone ripped up a card, or if someone dropped a card and it got like lawn-mowered. I felt really bad. At least it was just an energy card, but still, I was like, oh. That was someone's. I'm sure they liked it. I'm sure they enjoyed having that card. taking some notes from like how they did the shading on this like ridge part on the back. Rhyhorn. Fat Pikachu was wonderful, and I was so happy when they brought it back a little bit with Gigantamax Pikachu. Cause like that was wonderful. That was a great decision. Gigantamax Pikachu was not something I used, but it was something that was, you know, at least very, very nostalgic, and it made me happy. It's still pretty dark, the way they keep it there. Might do this. Just lighten it a little bit. Oh, you have the Ho one too? The 25th anniversary stuff? That's pretty nice. Is that, I feel like, so is it like a holographic Ho or is it just the Ho? Oh, okay. So this is a part that juts up a little bit. So I do want to add like a little bit of... Alright, is there anything else I can do with this one? Like, I don't want to go too far with dithering, and I have in a few spots gone pretty far with it. So I think maybe just bringing in like a little more highlighting on some details back there. Okay, let's get a little more. There's like normal shading in. That I do. Honestly, I think it would be... I highly doubt they would ever do this, but I think it would be really fun if they sort of pulled from those like older designs for like regional variants or something in a game. Like those ones that were like a little bit off model. They weren't quite what they were, like what they are now. Like if they did a game using those and kind of like made regional variants and like made them a little bit separate, I think that would be like a super fun concept. I think it would go pretty hard. I think that's a pretty big improvement on this, honestly. I'm trying to think if I could anything I can do to get this a little less dark. It's good to kind of take that, pull it back some. There we go. There we go. You would probably be one of the wealthiest Pokemon card holders as a result of that if they did that. Just because, like, if there was one version of a card and they gave it to one person, everyone would want that card. Like, 100% chance that you would have, like, private collectors, like, finding your information. Not even, like, reaching out to you, like they would find a way to. Alright. I think that's pretty good. Oh, I guess I could anti-alias this some. This is an area that needs some touching right here. This whole leg here pretty much. It's a little bit intense. And this one back here as well, but there's not a lot of colors I have. I guess, yeah, I do have this one. Never mind. To like soften things much. Though, to be fair, right, let me see. Here, let me. They're kind of like that. That would be pretty cool. Cannot lie. I think that's pretty good. Back to not really seeing much of a spot I can do much to improve things. Though I guess I could add a little bit of this like darkest color, I guess. A couple sections that feel a little flatter. I think we could pull that off. Like, I think there's enough demand for something like that that if they did it, it would sell pretty well. Don't want to over highlight that. Alright, let's get rid of that layer. Did I use every color? I have 9 colors. The original has 8 colors. What did I do? Did I do it again? I did it again. Yeah, I used the wrong like black shade for some of those outlines, but that's fixed now. Let's yoink that on up. He's so big. That said, he looks pretty good. For something that's, you know, not how he's supposed to look anymore. I think he's not half bad. I did initially consider going into this doing 3, but I think I am going to leave it off for tonight. But as a hint as to what the last one would have been, it was a coughing. It's not even a hint. Just as a review for what it would have been. It would have been coughing. Because coughing's like Pokemon Green Sprite has a detail that no longer exists with coughing. Hands. The sprite has hands. It also really fills the square that it was designed within, which that would have been a little bit fun to like play with some, finding a way to make it not look bad. But that's okay. I think they later learned how to better make it not look ridiculous and like perfectly square. But yeah, I did 2. This is a fun little experiment, and I think I'm gonna kind of loosely make some like shorts out of this type of thing. Basically, my plan is to like potentially just like download the stream at some point, crop it to just the footage of the spriting itself, and kind of discuss my thought process as I go through it. Because like you kind of get my thought process with these streams, but sometimes I'm just in the zone, you know? I don't even notice chat half the time because I'm like on it. Honestly, I could. The sprites get a little bit wonky, but I could hypothetically do that. All right, I'll let's see, what do I have in there right now? Yeah, I think I'll do that at some point after the stream. Make sure it looks good and toss it in. But yeah, that's gonna be all for this one, I think. These sprites are also going to be put up onto my DeviantArt. So I'm gonna toss them there, and yeah. thank you so much if you joined me live or after the fact for this pretty chill spriting, you know, type deal. But I'm gonna go do human things as humans do, and you probably should too. So thank you so much. Yeah, I'll be around in Discord and stuff, so don't you worry about that. But yeah, so goodbye. Yes, if you would like to join my Discord, I do have a Discord. Please feel free to join. Give it some life. Yeah. Goodbye.